In this set of words, we're looking at the rule that E may make the previous vowel long, as in debate. There are 11 other reasons, though, that we can add an E to the end of a word. Now, when we add ate to a word, it forms a verb. So we've got debate, relate, vacate, educate, populate, separate, decorate, demonstrate, complicate, and concentrate. Now, do take the time to read these teaching points at the bottom. So it says the different pronunciations of separate. We have separate books for each subject. We separate the yolk from the egg white. So you can hear the difference there. And then when we add ate to a word, it means a state or a quality of. And as I said before, ate on the end of a word forms a verb. So what do these words mean? Well, a debate is when you argue something. Relate is to associate or connect with something. Vacate is to depart or leave. Educate is to teach, research or study. Populate is to colonise or inhabit. Separate is to pull apart. Decorate is to adorn or beautify. Demonstrate is to show. Complicate is to make harder. And concentrate is to focus. Go through and highlight anything in these words that can make the spelling easier for you. Then don't forget to cover the word, write it and check it before you move on. So here we want you to write a list word that means. So we've given you the definitions. We want you to find the list word that matches each one. Then down in this section you've got to find the base word. So which list word goes with these words? Down here it says fill in the gap with the missing list word. So refer to the words above. And then down the bottom it says write the list word to match the sentence. So providing more sandwich options made it harder to choose. You've got to find which word they're describing from the words above. Do remember that words ending in ate form a verb. So all our list words this week are verbs. Now to change them into a noun, we have to take away the E at the end of each word and add ION. So we end up with shun. And when we add shun to the end of a word, it forms a noun. So opposites or antonyms, we need you to find the list word that matches the given words, that mean the opposite to the given words. Write these words and each base word. So you have to write the given word again and then write its base word on the second line. Now down the bottom we've got some homophones, so write the correct word. The poor dog had all four paws or paws stuck in the mud. So you've got to work out which is the correct paw and which is the correct paws to write into each of those spaces. So we've given you quite a few sentences and homophones to work through. Today we're working on sentence structure. So in a sentence we often have a subject, then the verb. So the subject is a noun and it tells us who or what is doing the verb. It always starts with a capital letter. Any sentence starts with a capital letter. And the subject usually comes before the verb. We have to remember to put the punctuation at the end, and the verb is the doing word. So you could have a two-word sentence, in fact, so long as you have a subject and a verb. So Tom runs. Tom will be the subject, the verb will be what he's doing, he runs. So circle the subject and underline the verb in the sentences below. These are a little bit more interesting than the one I gave you as an example. The cockatoo flew over our house. So cockatoo is the subject, the verb is flew, and then we've just finished the sentence off with the object. So Jessica walked briskly around the park, so we need to identify who the subject is and the verb. Down the bottom it says, when you have a series of words that include a subject and a verb, you have written a clause. If the clause makes sense on its own, it is an independent clause. And by adding punctuation at the end, like full stop, question mark or an exclamation mark, it can be made into a simple sentence. So the sentences above are all simple sentences. We'd like you to write 5 simple sentences down here, following that same format. Circle the subject and underline the verb in each of your sentences. So I've given you a summary here. A subject plus a verb equals a clause. Does the clause make sense? If it's yes, then that equals an independent clause, which is a simple sentence.